Once upon a time, in a faraway land filled with giants, lived the biggest giant of them all, Goliath. Now, this wasn't your average giant land, oh no. This was a place where trees touched the sky and the mountains were like pebbles under their colossal feet. And towering above them all was Goliath. He was the tallest and the strongest, with muscles as big as boulders and a heart just as sturdy. Everyone in the land admired Goliath. They marveled at his strength and gazed up in awe at his towering height. But with his size came fear, and the other giants would often scamper away at his approach. You see, they were just a tad bit scared of Goliath, not because he was mean, but simply because he was so very big. Even though Goliath was mighty, he felt lonely because the other giants were scared of him. Days turned into weeks, and Goliath's loneliness grew. He wished to have friends who wouldn't be scared of him. Goliath was a giant, yes, but his heart was as gentle as a butterfly's flutter. He loved to laugh and play, but his towering size often frightened those around him. Each day, he would look down from his giant hill, eyeing the cheerful gatherings in the valley below with a sigh. Imagine how it feels when you really want to join in a game, but you're too shy to ask. Or when you've got a brand new toy, but nobody to share the fun with. That's how Goliath felt all the time. His heart ached with a longing for companionship, for a friend who would see past his gigantic size and see his gigantic heart instead. But remember, my little listeners, every cloud has a silver lining. One day, Goliath decided that he would do something to change how others perceived him. Goliath thought hard and came up with a plan to make friends. He knew he had to show the other giants that despite his towering size, he was as kind-hearted and gentle as they were. He pondered on the troubles his fellow giants faced due to their smaller stature. Tasks that were simple for him were often a challenge for them. So, Goliath decided to use his size to his advantage. He thought, I can help them reach the highest tree branches. I can lift the heaviest stones. I can cross the deepest rivers with ease. He knew that by helping his fellow giants, he could show them his true nature. He also decided to share his favorite stories and songs with them as a way to bond and show his gentler side. He hoped that through these actions, his peers would see past his size and recognize his kind spirit. Goliath was determined to show everyone that he was more than just a big giant. The next day, Goliath started helping others. With an eager heart and strong hands, Goliath began his mission of kindness. He noticed a fellow giant struggling to reach the juicy apples sitting high up in the trees. Without a second thought, Goliath reached up and plucked the ripest ones, handing them over with a warm smile. Later, he spotted a group of giants straining to move a cluster of heavy rocks. Goliath stepped in, heaving the rocks away with ease, clearing a path for his friends. From morning to evening, Goliath was there, lending a hand, a shoulder, and sometimes his entire strength to those who needed it. He was there to lift, to carry, to reach, and to clear. His actions spoke louder than any words ever could. Through his deeds, Goliath showed his true color. A giant not just in size, but in kindness too. Soon the other giants started to realize that Goliath was kind and helpful. As days passed, the giants started to see Goliath for who he truly was. Not a frightening behemoth, but a gentle giant with a heart as vast as the mountains. His acts of kindness and generosity began to change their hearts. They saw how he used his colossal strength to build homes, not to destroy. They noticed how he used his booming voice to sing lullabies to the baby giants, not to roar in anger. Slowly but surely, the giants stopped fearing Goliath. They started to see him as a friend, a protector, and a leader. They began to understand that being big and strong doesn't mean you have to be scary or mean. They learned from Goliath that true strength comes from being kind, from being helpful, from being a friend. And so, Goliath taught everyone that true strength lies not in being the biggest or the strongest, but in being kind and helpful. And they all lived happily ever after.